Yes.
Great. We are all set.
Okay. Making was very much the water that I grew up swimming in. My father was an artist, a painter, and a maker. He did tons of home repairs around the house, built a back deck. I grew up watching someone iterate and create all the time. I was also blessed with some fabulous art teachers in school. I love making because for me, it's a journey of self-discovery. I am my biggest obstacle to achieving anything. And every time I get good at something, it is because I have learned some essential things about how I work and how I can work. I'm also obsessed with objects and the stories they tell. And if I can't find them, well, I just have to make them. That's just part of the way that I'm built. There are a lot of different ways in which I start a project. Sometimes it might be that there's an object so imperfect that it makes me angry enough to get started to build my own perfect version of the same. That might be the most frequent one, is that the thing I want just doesn't exist and I have to make it. The other one is that I want to try some skill, but I can't just try a skill in a vacuum. I need something to execute that skill with. So I will choose a project with which I can learn that skill. And I find it's easier to learn a skill if I have a goal with that skill. I can't just iterate for practice. I need to get something at the end of the operation. I wanted to make a spoon because I think it is a great low threshold project. And by low threshold, I specifically mean that almost anyone can get a spoon out of a few hours of work with almost any complement of tools. That means it's a super accessible project. Also, you don't have to teach anybody what a spoon looks like. We all know it in our heads. And that is, frankly, half the battle. It's actually probably more than half the battle with any project you're gonna do, is putting the object in your body and in your head before you execute it with your hands. And a spoon is something we all know what it looks like, so we all start from the same kind of knowledge base. Thirdly, a spoon is maybe one of the most useful tools in the entire world. You can use it to carve, you can use it to cut, you can use it to scoop, you can use it to eat. If I was stranded in the wilderness and you offered me one piece of cutlery, it very well might be a spoon. One of the other woodworking projects I like is a little shelf or a little box, frankly. I am frequently making objects that I'm obsessed with, and the moment I'm finished with the object, I need to give it a throne. I need to give it a proper housing. So the vessel of holding is often as much an important build for me as the object that I have built to put in the vessel. So little boxes, little shelves. Just a shelf for your tchotchkes is a fantastic beginner project, specifically because when you're done with it, you put your stuff on it. You try it and tell me how good it feels, because I know that it feels awesome. Given the base of all materials, if I had to choose a single material to start a project with, it would be corrugated cardboard. And the reason is it's ubiquitous, it's everywhere. It is a planar form. And so when you learn how to make stuff with cardboard, you are also learning how to do carpentry and welding. They are very similar processes. And I'll even add that you're learning the rudiments of sewing. Sewing, welding, woodworking are all planar forms meeting at their edges under different rules and conditions. If you learn them for one thing, you're actually going to be well along the way to learning them for another operation. So for me, corrugated cardboard is absolutely the gateway drug to making. If I had any advice for young makers, it is don't be afraid of being terrible. You're going to have to be terrible at what you're doing to get good at what you're doing. And so when you're thinking about making that first thing and you're thinking, it's never going to satisfy me, give up that desire and plot to build it 3 times. When you do that, that first one being terrible, it doesn't hit you so hard because it's just a step along the way. The second one teaches you what you didn't know about the first one, and the third one, it's like opens up a whole new landscape of understanding of the topography of the thing you've been constructing in your head and now in your hands. Where did I start? I forgot what the question was. If I have any advice for young makers, it is just to get started. You have to move forward and build momentum. And so you're worried that that object isn't going to be perfect. Let go of that worry and plan to build it 3 times. That'll take some of the pressure off making it beautiful while you learn just how you want it to go. If you are out there thinking, I can't start that project, it'll take too long to finish, or I'll never quite get it done, you should understand about me that I complete about half of the projects that I start. That's probably a pretty accurate number. I complete about half of the projects that I start. I start a lot of projects, so I still have a large completion roster, but the fact is that there's all sorts of reasons that projects fall by the wayside, that some piece of technology isn't ready, or you're not ready. If making used to give you succor, and you're wondering how you could find that succor again, my advice is just to try it again. Open yourself up to the fact that, like, putting stuff together with your hands is itself a meditation. That's the other one. If you're not getting started with a project because you think it might be tedious, I'm here to tell you that tedium is the job. Tedium and repetition and that sort of boring iteration is part of the soul of making, and swear to God, I've found myself in the tedium of the meditation of the workbench.